Happy Stoney Sunday, World Reefers. I'm Coral and welcome back for another video. This week I'm getting super stony on this 7-gram joint. I posted a picture of it on every network asking for your questions because this is a Q&A Stoney Sunday. I won't just be smoking up on this 7-gram joint though. I'm actually gonna get the help of this tiny little recycler. It is a joint bubbler, although it did come with a nail so I could actually use it for real dabbing. But it is meant for joints. It has this custom little cone instead of like a joint where a bowl would go. It actually has this cone shape, and that is because the joint fits right inside it and it becomes a joint bubbler. I definitely don't think they were intended for 7-gram joints, but you know what? This is how I want to smoke it, so let's give it a try. Huge shout out to Amelia for the idea. I really loved a lot of suggestions coming in when I asked how I should smoke this, but she DM'd me that I should get a little joint bubbler, and I had just received this one in from Vape World like a couple of days ago, so it's so perfect. I'm gonna get the joint actually lit up with my torch before I put it into that bubbler. I'm doing this with the torch on the lowest setting I can get because I want to get a really nice cherry going before I pop it into that bubbler. It's smoking up. I do think it's easier if there's a little resin already built up in there, or if you just use a little bit of spit. That'll keep this actually in there a little bit better. And then this particular one does have a carb right here on top, so I'm gonna use that, and here we go. Oh my gosh, that rips. I didn't know what to expect working this out, but I knew I had to try it, and I'm actually really digging it. While I try to make my way through this Goliath joint, I'll be answering your questions from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also a huge shout out to the Purple Lotus Patient Center. They're the ones that hooked me up with this fat joint. It was a total surprise. I did not know I was gonna get this when I stopped by their shop, and I am loving it. So thank you guys, this is really cool. Let's get into the questions from Facebook first. I have the post pulled up, and one of the first questions up was, have I ever thought about going to Australia's Mardi Gras? Fuck yeah, I thought about it so hard that I went. 3 years in a row. I've had an amazing time in Australia every time I've gone. Much love to Ozbongs for making it possible 2 of those years. It was so fun. So I didn't go last year, but I would absolutely love to go back to Australia, to Mardi Gras, to the new cities that I haven't been to the cities I already visited. It was a dream come true. I'm glad I got that cherry going because now I can talk a little bit and it's not burning out. Whew. What's my take on low temp versus high temp dabs? I'm pretty impatient and I accidentally take high temp dabs more often than I should. Low temp dabs are really the way to go. Get a timer, test out your nail. I have a video from a while back with some ideas and tips for different quartz nail styles of how you can find the right time. I really think that low temp's the way to go. I lost some ash, and to be honest, it's really kind of burning unevenly, I think because of how I was torching it. So I'm gonna go back in with the torch for a second and kind of even it out and see what I can do. But the next question I wanted to answer Let's see what we've got. How old was I when I first started smoking? I swear, the older that I get, the more that I'm like, how old was I? I don't know. But I think when I really think about it, and I've had it like video up for years about my first time smoking, so I know the answer is out there for real, but I think I was around 16 or so. Pretty sure. For where I'm at, it felt like a bit later than a lot of my friends, but it felt like the right time for me and with the right people. I think that should fix it for now, but I might lose a lot more ash. I didn't really think about that. I've got an ashtray, but this thing is kind of giant, so maybe I should have thought about a giant ashtray. Would I be willing to talk about my sex life with my partner? We have disclosed that he's trans, so that is public knowledge. Am I willing to talk about my sex life? That's a no from me. I've never been the type to give you guys details about my sex life, so it wouldn't make sense to all of a sudden in this relationship start giving really intimate details like that. But we have disclosed his transition. We have talked about that. So if you have any questions about that, you can always hit him up. Go watch our episode talking about how we met and our full story like that. I think that's as much info as we can really give you. Like, come on, you guys. Starting to do small puffs, because this thing is ripping and knocking me out, and I have a lot more questions to answer. This question I get all the time being a lady, and it's, do I ever consider having kids, and what are my thoughts on smoking while pregnant or consuming cannabis as a mom? I support healthy, happy moms, healthy, happy families, so I find cannabis can be a part of that, but of course I'm not a doctor, so it's not my place to give medical advice in very specific situations, and I highly advise everyone to look into the research, check it out, and make a decision that they are comfortable with for their family. Now for me, no, I don't think I'll be having kids in this lifetime. It's just one of those things that I'm not planning for. It's not biologically gonna happen on accident between my partner and I, and we're not really pursuing adoption in any way, so it's not in the cards for us. Let's take a couple more tokes on this fatty. My eyes are definitely watering from this joint. I knew this would be like smoking a quarter just straight through, but I'm honestly like sweating, my eyes are running. It's a lot. I don't know that I've ever done this before. I think we're maybe just under halfway through, so I'm like an eighth in or now. And on to the Twitter questions. Does my tolerance change with my mood? They say that they find when they're a little bit low, their tolerance is as well. I kind of find the opposite. When I'm feeling low, I need to smoke everything, like smoke it all and just power through it. But if I'm feeling good, if I'm feeling high, if I have like a lot of energy, I don't necessarily need to smoke as often throughout the day. Sometimes I'll get started on my day and just go about for a while without actually having that wake and bake. So it definitely does, my mood definitely does affect my actual tolerance level, but kind of opposite from yours. What forest strains would be on your Mount Cushmore? Holy shit. Oh my God, that's such a good question. I think, wow. You've really got me. I'm so lost. I feel like there'd have to be some sort of OG. There'd have to be some sort of super purple. There'd have to be like maybe a Jack Herrera, something super jacky, and then Probably something super fruity, like a strawberry, a really flavorful, really fruity one. Oh man, is that good? Is that fair enough? Those four categories are what I would narrow it down to. I guess that kind of answers this question, what's my favorite strain? Although not really. I'm pretty open when I walk into a dispensary and I like to see what's on the shelf. My nose likes the fucking sativas, but I really benefit best from the indicas and the CBD rich, so I try and go for those. Every time I think this thing's out, it keeps going. How do I deal with daily haters who don't understand the purpose of marijuana? I block them. It sounds stupid, but I really don't deal with haters. I don't need to. There are so many people that have genuine questions and genuine interest in finding out more about cannabis that people that are rude or hateful, like literally haters, I just block them. I don't really need to entertain their time. And if it's in real life, I just tell them, I don't need to argue with you about this. I know the truth. I'm confident in the truth. Happy to talk about it when you do have questions, but I don't really need to just be argued with about this. And I just leave. So some people get really frustrated by that, and if you are cool, calm, and collected and you can present the facts to these haters, go for it. But I kind of lose my temper when someone's so ignorant, so I just book it out of there. They're not worth it. Have I ever or would I ever go to Washington, D.C. for a weedy event? Fuck yes! I went a few years ago thanks to a scholarship from Americans for Safe Access. I got to go to their annual conference in DC. It was huge, it was amazing, but I got really sick because of my flight over there. It was like just one of those unavoidable things. So I had to cancel my meetup. I missed a lot of the seminars of the conference that I wanted to go to, and I would love a chance to make up for it and come back to DC and actually see the reefers. I think about it a lot. I really would love to get out there. For those that don't know, DC legalized, but not the actual sale or purchase of marijuana, just possession, which leaves a lot of loopholes. So now there are these opportunities to sell other goods, art, food, whatever it might be, and gift marijuana with your other product. So there are smoothies you can get weed with, art pieces, posters, all sorts of things. I was just reading about it for Newsnight. I thought it was so cool, and I was like telling Mio, another reason I need to get out to DC. I want to go to one of these parties with these booths where you pay for art and smoothies and food and you get weed with it. Fuck yeah, I want to go. It might have actually gone out for the first time since I lit it. So I'm gonna go ahead and relight that baby up. See what I can do. Someone asked if I'm gonna be finishing this in one setting, and I'm trying, I'm going for it. This shit rips. Oh my god. I've done like half gram and gram dabs, smoked fat joints, but this one is really, it's gonna just smoke my makeup off this side of my face. I feel like I'm just melting. It's so good. Okay, we've got a couple more questions left from Instagram. Let's see what we got. What's the most frustrating misconception about cannabis that I hope to re-educate the world about? Ooh, it's a good one. I hope to help people that enjoy cannabis feel no guilt around it. I feel like it's something that we have been taught in big and small ways to hide, or that it's a disadvantage to us in some way, and it's stupid. That's so stupid. I want the world to get over that. I want to help people realize that cannabis is something that can benefit people in so many different ways, and it can be celebrated and enjoyed publicly or privately, but publicly too. What's one or some positive, life-changing thing that has happened to me because of my involvement with the cannabis community? I mean, one that comes to mind right away is I reconnected with Mio, and that's been an amazing, just amazing new chapter in my life. And that really happened because of his company with Nail Crown, and the company at the time was Dab Kings, but they then went to Nail Crown and Cruz Culture. It was because of his involvement with those companies that we had a chance to reconnect and actually build a friendship and get to know each other better. And I just am really thankful for that. Still going. Oh my God. But the internet and the reefer community and you guys supporting me and encouraging me and inspiring me to keep going, that has just built my confidence to really feel like anything is possible. Anything that I want to create for you guys, I can do. I can dream it and I can build it and I can connect with the people to make it possible. So it's just been that sense of confidence that's grown with your guys' support, and also with me just flexing my little muscles and giving it a try, and not just wondering what if, or not just thinking I could do it, but actually giving it a go. It's given me definitely more confidence to meet people that I have admired in so many ways, and that includes a lot of reefers out there. What are my thoughts on the legal age of 21 or other ideas? I am so for 18 as the legal age. I really don't think 21 is the way to go, but it's what we have in a lot of the states so far, so it's definitely something that's becoming more and more common. If I could smoke anywhere publicly, I was just saying I would really like to do that, where would it be? In the US specifically. I think like the first places that come to mind are just beaches. I just really wish I could enjoy a toke while I'm on the beach, but it's one of those like flat, wide open spaces that they can kind of see the smoke from far away, and it's not very discreet unless you got that whole tent bungalow situation going. But I really wish I could just enjoy a smoke on the beach, like all of them, anywhere. All beaches, everywhere. I'm talking so much that it's going out. Light it up again and finish strong with this joint. Definitely, I feel like the higher that I get, the slower and more like sentimental I get when I'm super not stoned. I guess I'm a little more uppity, but now I'm like, let me really think about that. Let me see how I feel about that question. Do I see myself doing a wider range of lamp working or glass blowing in the future, like rigs or functional pieces? No, I don't know. Maybe, but no. I kind of want to do more jewelry and things like that. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of fun with what I do, but I don't really want to jump into the very competitive rig market. I don't really want to do it. I don't know. I really like working solid better. It's just such a different vibe to sculpt and push around and manipulate the glass in that way rather than blow hollow glass and work it in a completely different way. That's a whole nother world. If I had to interview or could interview one politician regarding cannabis, which politician do I think would be the most influential and effective in regards to standing up for what is right when it comes to legalization? I would have to choose former President Barack Obama. I would have to. I think that his voice could be so clear on this topic. I think that he's tiptoed around it in a lot of ways. He's laughed at us. Some of my older videos were about the polls and the online questions he was taking regarding what the country wanted, and I'd always mention cannabis, and he didn't laugh at me specifically, I'm not saying that, but he laughed at the topic every time it came up, and it was so frustrating. I really think that he could do something so much better and so much more, and the current crop of politicians, I don't think they have the credibility to get the point across. I think we need someone with credibility. When making my videos, what are some things to keep in mind to help make them better in any way? I kind of think about what my 8th grade English teacher said, which is to think about your audience. So I think about you guys. I think about where you are in the world, what's going on with you. It's easy to stay in a bubble of legalization and cannabis around the Bay Area and in California in general, but I try and make my videos more relatable because the world is so much bigger than that, and I want to talk cannabis in a way that makes sense to everyone and that actually is something you guys can relate to everywhere. So I know that that's not like video editing advice or anything like that, but honestly, just considering my audience, considering who's gonna be watching the videos, and considering the reefers, that's what I try and keep in mind before I sit down and film. That and good lighting. Don't be afraid of turning the lighting up, getting multiple lights, brightening it up everywhere. Definitely think about your lighting. Any advice for women getting into the cannabis industry? I would say be bold, build your skills, apply, go for it. There's really nothing holding you back but yourself. If the door seems closed to you, either keep knocking, see what you can do, or just move on, find another door. Work with a team that supports you. Find a family of a career. Find a family of a team that wants to work with you. You don't have to stay in toxic environments. I would absolutely want to let every woman and person, doesn't matter who you are, you need to know you don't have to stay in a toxic work environment in any way. You can leave and find something so much better for you. So for the women that want to enter the cannabis industry, I would say just keep in mind you don't have to work for someone. If you have an idea, if you have skills to offer, if you have services that you want to sell, do your thing. Build your business. If you are someone that wants to work on a team and actually join someone else's business, go for it. Shoot that resume over. Ask for the interview. Say, I want to come in. I know I'd be an asset to the team. I really think confidence will carry you far, but also make sure that you're building your skills. Always have something to offer and bring to the table. And it can be true that sometimes people have to work twice as hard to get half the attention, and sometimes we fall into that category as women in a professional setting. Be prepared for that. Instagram's coming through with the kind of heavy-hitting questions. This one, though, is a little bit more lighthearted. They ask, who is the most influential entertainer or public figure that I've met and smoked with? And I feel like a lot of you might know my answer. The super stony comedian Doug Benson. We have met and smoked a bunch of times. He's hilarious, and he's someone that I just remembered talking about pot before a lot of other people were, in some really big ways. So it was really cool to smoke with him. He's super humble and really easy to talk to, and I'm really glad I had that chance. Well, I can say that this joint is gonna last longer than the camera battery. I'm gonna see if there are any final questions to throw into this episode, and thank you guys for watching this week's Stoney Sunday. It has been one of the stoniest ones yet. I'll end with this one. How did I get the nickname CoralReefer? They know my real name's Coral. Surprise if you didn't know that. It is. But how did I get that nickname? It was actually from my dad. He wanted that on my birth certificate, but my mom didn't go for that. When I heard that story later, clicked in my head, that's my true name. I'm gonna go by it. I will have info down below in the info box about how you can get this bubbler, and I will see you guys next week. Stay high.